Well, you've had this job a long time now. Do you like it?
Yeah, I like my job.
What is it that you like about it?
I think I like my job now because I have a power to consolidate my own position to perform to satisfy my political ambition. But I would like to take responsibility and to do something good for the country and the people. And what I would like to be the most is not president of the country in the peacetime, but the president of the country in the most difficult time of the nation.
A common criticism that I've heard of you is that you're not really interested in politics, but you do understand and have a liking for power. Is that a fair criticism?
It's not true.
You come from the countryside yourself, from a small family in a small place. Why do you think the Viet Cong, the communists, have had success among the people in the countryside?
I think that these Vietnamese people, both in North Vietnam and South Vietnam before, in 1945, has been lured by the communists. They have not said that they are communists. They said that they are the nationalists who would like to urge the people to fight against the colonialism and to liberate the Vietnam from the French domination. So everyone, after more than 18 years of French domination, would like to be independent. So the word independence is a very attractive, it is a very exciting word for any Vietnamese. So everyone was behind the Viet Cong for the first period of the struggle. And then when they realized that there is not really a struggle for independence, but the struggle for independence first and for the communist domination after, so the people, when they realize that it's too late.
Well, under what conditions then do you see communists participating in the government of South Vietnam?
I think first, that to permit the South Vietnamese people to perform his right of self-determination through free and democratic election. I think that the presence of foreign troops, and especially the invasion North Vietnam troops, must be solved. The people of South Vietnam cannot perform his right of self-determination as long as we have any foreign troops in South Vietnam. And above all, the troops of North Vietnam who have invaded the country.
Now, if the North Vietnamese army does not withdraw from the south, and there are some 20 divisions there at the moment in the country, what will you do?
I think that if they do not withdraw, I think that they continue to nourish the dream of invasion of South Vietnam, and they are planning a new war. Even now, almost 60 days after the ceasefire, they continue to infiltrate. They continue to send out to South Vietnam more tanks, more artillery guns, and more troops. That's the first sign after the accords have been signed, that they continue to infiltrate and to prepare another war.
Ceasefire has left the communists in control of large areas of South Vietnam, if not in control of the majority of the people. If there are to be elections, are you saying, for example, that Madame Binh from Paris, the Viet Cong's foreign minister, so-called, is going to be allowed to campaign here in the streets of Saigon if it needs to be outside the palace?
I think that I can tell you that that is in the advantage of the communists to gain time, because they do not control enough people to win the election through the vote. And what they have done since the ceasefire, that they would like to have more hamlets, more villages, and more people, so they can have a more vote in the future election.
So they don't want elections now?
And they don't want elections right away.
Did you see something that Henry Kissinger said the other day? I imagine you follow everything he says very closely.
He said?
Well, he said that, yes, there was this agreement, but that if one or other of the two political systems was able to provide a morally superior government, that was no concern of the United States. From that I infer that he was voicing what is often heard here, that you have great problems of corruption to deal with, and this alienates people from your government.
I think that those problems will be solved when we have no more war. I think that in the poor country with the very long war, as long as we need aid from the outside, the condition of living inside the country is in the poor condition. I think that that sources, that's the origin of any social problem, even including the corruption. Now I think we are in peace, and I think that those social problems will be reduced or will be.
He seemed to be voicing some kind of doubt, though, that you were capable of doing that in South Vietnam.
I think you will see how I wouldn't be able to do that.
You have many critics in the country, as I'm sure you know. You have many political parties, you have problems with the press, many newspapers have been closed down here who don't totally support the war effort. Who do you believe in South Vietnam is with you when it comes to a choice between a communist and a non-communist state?
I think that the South Vietnamese people will choose non-communist. The South Vietnamese people, certainly we are not a perfect man in a perfect regime, but I think that the South Vietnamese people have a make mind already that they cannot survive with the communist ideology and with the communist system. And they are confident that when the war is over, this regime will do better for them.